to Teachers Off Duty. If you've never joined us before, my name is Rebecca Rogers. I'm R. Rogers World on all social media.
I'm Lauren Woolley, Mrs. Woolley in Fifth on all social media.
And I am Bree Richardson, Honest Teacher Vibes on all social media.
And I am Devin Cybold. I am Devin Cybold on all social media.
I say so irritated, like, this is redundant.
I don't even know how to spell it.
He was the only smart one that took his actual name and made it his handle.
Spell your last
name. That was terrible marketing in the beginning. Because I was like, sure, they'll be able to spell something they can't even pronounce normally.
What did Casey call you on the comedy tour? Yeah, Cybold.
Cybold.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it's German. And I was like, and people are like, is it Cybold or Cybold? And I'm like, it's Cybold. And then I went and ate in Epcot in Germany, and there was a German man there. And he was like, oh, Cybold. And I was like, I've been wrong.
My gosh.
I do not know your own last name.
Yeah.
My thing is when on the comedy tour, when Casey Mack introduces you at the very beginning, when we had to tell him, hey, bro, y'all done worked together for like 3 years. His last name is Cybold. Because Casey be like, and welcome to the stage, Devin Cybold. I'm like, Casey, his name is Cybold.
Well, today we are going to talk about one of my favorite things to sit and complain about all day. Things these kids do and say that just absolutely grind our gears and just irritate us to no end.
And you know we have a list that goes on
and
on
and on and on.
So excited
I
for
don't
this.
like when they just open their mouth. I'm like, just close your mouth. I don't, if it's to put food in, if it's to drink something.
I don't like when they're there. You know, it's like, you've arrived today.
Listen, the best part about COVID was the virtual aspect of it.
I hated virtual learning.
No, I'm totally teasing. I just meant because the kids weren't in the room.
It's like black box society.
Mute.
See, I liked this virtual for that reason. Like, oh, you have an attitude? Mute.
They didn't even say nothing on mine.
We need a mute reat in real life.
I didn't know that they could mute me. Like
the kids?
They can? What?
I had in the beginning. We were using Teams, and in Teams,
like
there were certain permissions that they didn't give teachers, and it was like through the school. So the kids had certain permissions that I had. So I'd be like, so anyways, days we're gonna. And I'd be like, who did that? Because you can't see. And so I would like randomly kick people and then see if I got muted like while they were out. And then they'd be like, oh, it kicked me. I'm like, that's weird. But then I would just kind of, but I would get muted all the time.
Oh,
was there not a way? There wasn't a way to change it.
I found out there was, but I didn't know. Like in the beginning, I'd always use Zoom and Google Meets, and they made us use Teams, and I was like, I don't use Teams.
Right, I don't know how to do this.
And in the beginning, you're like, it's no different, but there are little quirks in each one that you got to figure out.
See, what I hated in virtual learning was I had a kid once, for some reason, I don't know why, we were doing group work. They were in like, you know how Google Meet, you can put them into the little groups. And they literally just sent our class link for Google Meet to like 4 friends, and they just had like 4 friends just come hang out in the class, and I was like,
that's like the real world.
You don't go.
I mean, yeah.
They come in the class, and you're like, I teach you?
Get out. This isn't even your class.
Oh, that was so annoying. That was the worst thing ever.
I used to hate when they drew on the desks, but now I kind of like it because I had some like true artists in my classroom this last year.
I have this terrible story.
Oh gosh.
Terrible story.
I'm ready. Oh gosh, do it.
I had a kid who never turned in anything. I mean, he would come to school. He didn't want anything to do with me. I tried parent-teacher conference. They were uninvolved. Didn't want anything to do with me. He was a junior or a senior, and he would draw, and they were amazing. And I was awesome. I said, dude, you're a really, really good artist. I said, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want to be a tattoo artist. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I said, that's cool. I said, you can just go do that now. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, well, they hire, and you're old enough to get a job. Just go tattoo. Don't do this. And he quit. Like he dropped out of school and became a tattoo artist. But no, I talked to him like months later. He's like, I love it. He's like, I don't know why I was there. He was like, I just knew what I wanted to do. He's like, and he wasn't going to pass anything.
Right.
And he was just there taking up his time. I'm like, pursue your passion, bro.
That's how high school is.
Pursue your passion.
The fact that you can say that in high school. Yeah.
And you imagine me saying that to a 5th grader going just like, you know what? You're really good at drawing Bob the Builder. Just go do that.
Go do that.
Yeah, but
that was probably good life-changing advice for him, though.
Yeah, and that was the thing is like, I know like when I first said it, I was like, am I telling this kid to quit school? And then I was like, you know what, though? I don't think anybody has ever acknowledged that he is capable of making a
Right.
living off of what he's doing.
Right.
And then, you know,
That's
then
a
you
really
do it.
good example of like conventional school is not always the best option for everybody.
Right, yeah. Mhm.
And
Some
I think
kids-
that's like, that was like, you said it was a terrible story, but I thought that was a great
thought that was
story.
really
Like,
When I
I
tell
like
people
it.
that, you know, in teacher instinct,
The
I think
initial shock factor.
us here,
Right,
are like,
but
yeah,
somebody
get him
on-
out of there.
somebody
But
on
the
the
rest of
internet
the
gonna be
public's
like,
why would you do that?
that's very
He's got to get the
suspect.
degree. What if he wants to fall back on it?
I have my own teacher writing or kids writing on things stories that I had for Harry Potter fans will love this story. So I made this entire Harry Potter bulletin board in my class. I worked so hard on it. My mom helped me. Like, it took an entire day.
Yeah.
And I did like this behavior point system thing for kids for like completing classwork.
Right.
The
And
houses?
yeah, the house points.
Okay.
It was
Oh.
so fun. And I gave like the class kind of like on the very first day, like little personality tests as a class whole. And that's how I decided which class got which house.
Did you Pottermore them?
Kind of,
Yeah, I love Pottermore.
I really liked it. And it was so fun. And like one day I was just passing by my bulletin board and I realized that some kids from my Slytherin class wrote on the Slytherin banner like best class ever. And so I just like talked to them as a class. I was like, hey, like this bulletin board, like it took a lot of time.
Right.
Of course,
Please
it was
don't write on
Slytherin.
it.
No,
right,
of
right.
course.
But I was like, hey, like this
Death
took a lot of
Eaters.
time. This bulletin board like means a lot to me. I'm really proud of it. Please just let's make sure that we don't write on it because like it's not laminated. The laminating machine wasn't like it was broken. Something was wrong with it. I wasn't able to laminate it. So let's please just make sure that we don't write on it. So I erased it. Not even 2 days later, the writing was back in pen.
See, that's when I would be like, all right, the whole thing's coming down.
I just was
We're not
sat
going to do
there
this
and I was
anymore.
like,
Y'all ruined it.
Slytherins.
Yeah,
Dang it.
I gave up on trying to make them stop writing on the desk because, like, sometimes you see stuff and you're like, when did they do that?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I've been looking at y'all the whole class period. Like, when did you do that? Like, maybe I thought you was writing on your paper, but you was really drawing on your desk. And I'm talking, I actually made a TikTok video because some of their drawings were like really good.
The shading is
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Listen, I'm not gonna pretend like the desks I have, like those big like science experiment tables, aren't so satisfying to write on with pencil. Because they are, but like, like at least my kids started just writing, like drawing with their erasers. They would like turn the pencil over and like,
I like
so like
that.
it's not ruining the table, but I'm like also you should focus on doing division because you don't know how to do that.
But then
like,
the kids are like, I don't have a pencil. It's like Leonardo da Vinci, you just drew the Sistine Chapel on the desk. You're gonna tell me you don't have a pencil?
they use their
Lies.
pencil for the Sistine Chapel.
It can backfire though because I had a student that was into anime and he was like, "Can I do like anime characters for this history assignment?" And I was like,
gosh.
"Yeah, sure." And then I come over and I'm like, "Marie Curie ain't got breasts that says like that." I'm like, you know, like you got to pull it back. Like, hold on, anime.
You can only draw
I thought
certain
you were talking
anime.
like anime,
Right.
not like,
I didn't know you were talking
anime.
about that anime. You can't draw that. You can't draw that.
Little overemphasis.
You know what? I don't. Obviously, this is the one that pisses off every teacher when you tell them what to do and they ask 5 seconds later, "What are we supposed to be doing?"
Oh, I hate it.
I could literally like snatch each one of my braids out individually because it drives me insane. I'm like,
Yes.
what were you doing when I just
And
gave
not
the
only,
instructions?
not only did you just tell them, it's on the board,
And
it's
it's
on
on
their
the
paper,
daggone board.
it's literally listed everywhere, and they're still like, I don't know what we're
No,
doing.
see, my kids don't even wait for that. I will be like, guys, we're gonna do this, and they'll be like, what would it be? Like throwing out all these questions. I'm like, can I explain?
Let me finish. Right. Let
first?
me finish.
Like, can I tell you, and then you can ask me the 900 questions that I'm just about to explain anyway?
Right.
What
Like-
I don't understand is the weird flex. Like, this is such a weird flex that kids have, and they think it's so funny when you're like, oh, like, y'all can't stop talking when I give directions. I'm going to separate you. And they're like, well, that's not going to stop us from talking. And and they think they're, like, proud of it. They're like, well, we'll just scream across the classroom.
And I'm
Why
like,
is
well,
that something
y'all
that you're
just-
proud of?
Right. Well, y'all just both gonna get out then.
Right.
Like what? Like we
Like,
just gonna
are you
scream across the
proud?
classroom?
Sometimes I have to remind myself that I'm the adult in the room
Girl,
because I be getting
freaking day.
I be getting petty with these fifth graders sometimes.
Don't you hate how they, like in professional development, okay, don't yell at the kids. Don't be sarcastic with the kids.
Listen, they plucked
That's
that
all
last
I
nerve
am.
I have. And
A kid talks back,
sarcastic.
and you hear the Stone Cold Steve Austin glass smash in your head. And you're just wanting to go out there. And
like
just
if I could
RKO
DDT, if
everybody.
I could DDT you right now, I would.
Yep.
They drive me crazy, and I'm like, how you talking back and you can't spell C-spot
See,
or run?
my kids, the thing that drives me nuts is like, so I wear like a full face of makeup to school every single day because I'm a psychopath. And I just like putting on makeup. So like, it doesn't bother me to get up a little early and put my makeup on in the morning. But on days where I'm either not feeling great or like running really late, I might only put a little bit of makeup on my face and not everything. And they have to make a point to
Absolutely.
say,
Absolutely.
Mrs. Woolley,
Absolutely.
you look like doo-doo today. Or like,
my
like,
Them fifth graders
are
will
you
straight up.
okay?
Them
Because
fifth
you don't
graders-
look good. I'm like,
Them
thanks.
fifth graders will straight
Thank
up,
you.
like kids will
So
kids will straight up call you out. And I'm like, in Mississippi, we roast our kids back. Like one day, I used to wear makeup to school, and one day, like I just didn't. Again, I ain't feel like wearing it, so I didn't. And I said, hey, to my Tristan that morning, and he looked like he seen a ghost. And I was like, hey, Tristan, and he was just like, I was like, why are you looking at me like that? I had forgot that I didn't put my makeup on. He goes, Miss Richardson, you ain't put your eyebrows on today? And I was like, why? Like, it's like they can't take it when we look different than they're used to seeing us look. I'm like,
But they won't help you out. And what I mean by that is I will get it to 7th period, go in the bathroom, smile, and see bacon from first period in my teeth.
Disrespectful.
And I'm like, nobody said nothing. They're all
Disrespectful.
failing. They're all failing.
I had a girl in 3rd period once come up to me and she goes, Miss Rogers, your shirt's on inside out. I was like, I got to 3rd period and no one let me know this
Nope.
whole time.
They won't
that
save
my
you.
shirt's
They'll
inside
embarrass you.
out.
They won't
right.
save
I
you.
had on 2 different shoes one day. I was like, yeah, dog, ain't nobody said nothing. I had 2 different pairs of black flats, and I don't know if I was half asleep that morning or what, but I put on 2 different shoes, and
What
the
are
kids was just,
those?
I don't know how kids
the
are able
kids
to
was
make
just looking.
full-grown adults insecure about themselves.
They will roast the crap out of
my
us.
kids, like they'll be working on something or I'll be teaching and I'll just hear like little snickers in the back of the room and I'm like,
What
they're
y'all
laughing
laughing at?
about me?
Right,
I'm
what
like,
y'all
what
laughing
did I do that
Yup.
they're laughing at me for? But they know how to get you with the thing that you don't like about you.
Yes.
Like it's always
Yes.
the one thing that you're insecure about.
But can we be real for a second and realize that when they start talking junk about another teacher, you're like, go on.
Please do
Well, listen,
continue.
as long as
Miss
it's not
Smith
me.
does this, and you're like, she would, wouldn't she?
Especially if it's the teacher that jammed the copy machine. And you're like, tell me more. I
I'm
need
like,
to know all that
but
you
our
don't like
walls
about
were like
her.
super thin, so I'm like, hey, lower your voice because they right next door. But
But don't stop talking. But don't stop talking.
keep telling me because you're like, you start talking about them and they like me, so do tell more.
You wonder though what they say in other classes.
Yeah, right.
you know,
I'm like, I know
about
y'all
you.
be talking about me. But see, my kids would come tell me what the other kids in other classes would say. Like a kid was like, Miss Richardson, such in such class was like, I'll fight Miss Richardson. Baby, which one was it? Which one was it? I'm like, don't say nothing you don't want, because my kids I always come tell me what somebody that said. Mm-hmm. And then when they make the like Instagram pages and stuff, trying to roast the teachers,
Yeah.
I ain't never ended up on one of those pages. Praise the Lord.
I was gonna say, thank God I teach elementary school because we don't got that.
Nah,
I
middle
roasted
school.
my senior class.
Did you really?
You
Yep.
did
I
in
have
a
a
speech.
video online. I don't know where it is, but it's on YouTube somewhere of me roasting. I got on stage and roasted them the
I love
whole
that.
time. I
love
and
it.
somebody tried to heckle me, and I was like, "You
A
bought?"
parent?
"No, a kid." I was like, "You bought that outfit with positive behavior bucks? What's going on over here?" And I said, "This graduating class is like Thanos. We snap your fingers, and half you are staying, half you are going." Like I roasted the heck out of them.
Which is the best.
I had trouble though because it was a talent competition and I went last. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I got this. The kid that went out before me did SpongeBob impressions, and he did not miss. I watch SpongeBob all the time. I love
Yeah.
SpongeBob. He was on, and I was like, I don't want to follow this.
Come behind that.
Yeah.
We didn't ever have a talent competition. Our kids don't know how to act. We can't do that kind of stuff. Like we have a pep rally, y'all get to fighting in the gym and then push 2 teachers down the bleachers.
We had at
do
my
that.
old school, we had a talent show once, and the old school was a K-8 building, so like we had a lot of different age levels. And it was like, it was cute because they're kids, but it was also cringe fest because it was just
my
not that
gosh.
great.
It
And like,
do
I
be a
hate to
little
say that
cringy.
about the kids, like, but it was like you're sitting there as a teacher, like, oh.
Did you ever do a talent show when you were a kid?
No,
Did you
because I
ever do
didn't
one?
have that kind of confidence.
Yeah, I did. It was really cringy. I try
Yeah,
not to
I
think
remember.
about
Did
it.
you ever do one?
No, I don't
I
think
remember
I did.
doing one when I was in like middle school when we used to go to the YMCA after school for aftercare. And I'm like, if I could just crawl into the floor and die thinking about that talent show. And baby, I just knew I was talented. I just knew my voice sounded like angels floating from heavens above when it really sounded like nails on a
Just
freaking
a small
chalkboard.
town girl.
My first year teaching.
Devin and Vic are like, we gonna cut that part out.
My first year teaching, we didn't have like pep rallies or like talent shows on the last day. But what I did, if you've ever seen The Office, is I had Mindeli's, like the Dundies, because that was my maiden name was Mindel.
okay.
The
So I
Dundies.
had Mindeli's, and that's where I got to like roast the crap out of my kids for anything that they did that pissed me off. I kept a notebook in my desk,
Yeah.
and anything that they did that was just really like awful or embarrassing, I just like saved it and I got to attach it. It was just so funny. One time, like for example, one of the examples was I did this simulation for the Crusades where the kids were running around outside like claiming parts of the school.
Right.
I was like, don't run, like be careful. And
Right.
this kid didn't listen to me, like tripped on a rock and just face planted. So he was like the valiant knight as the
Oh
Dundies.
my
That was his award. It was
my
just, it was
gosh.
fun. I liked it a lot.
We can't let our kids outside like that. They,
Now you do have an advantage. So teaching high school, we would have faculty versus student games all the time.
love it.
love
Them be the
those.
ones right there.
To me, that's my chance to throw an elbow. That is my chance to, I'll go out there and I'll
Crush
post
them.
up.
Devin
I'll
says
post
You
you
up-
high school. You high
I will
school
post
too.
up that 6th period student that has never came to
talking
class,
trash.
and I will knock him back into my classroom. I will, and that's the best part is
Dude.
that you can be physical out there. You can
Them
dunk on
student-
kids and stuff.
Yeah, them
if
student
a kid
versus-
left my classroom and he was like, "Mr. Cybold elbowed me and blew my nose," it's just like, okay, but he's gonna go to jail. But then if it's on the
basketball game.
basketball court, they're like, you just gotta play harder. You just gotta play harder. That's
We
all.
don't.
it is.
I don't know why we don't do those games anymore. It's
Oh,
probably
I do it
'cause-
all the time.
It's
Too many
probably 'cause
elbows to the face.
to the face.
This year we did because my like I said before, my building is literally a K-12 building. It's very small. We are a tiny district. They did a student staff basketball game at the end of the year, and it was really fun to watch. But like the entire district got to watch it, so it's
Right.
nice. Like the 5th grade gets to go down and like watch all the older kids, and they get to cheer and stuff.
Right,
and,
right,
like,
right.
But man, the students, like, they got smoked. Those teachers were
absolutely.
good.
Wow.
There were 3 in my school that 3 of us that played college basketball, and the kids we would go on Wednesdays and just play after school with them, and these kids would show up and get destroyed. They would leave questioning their whole future, and I'd be like, I would just dunk on them and be like, you don't want to keep going in this sport. You don't want to keep doing
it's
this.
a good stretch list. This is what I
Yeah,
hate when
go
a-
be a tattoo artist. I've been
Oh
told.
my gosh, Devin. This is what
my
I hated
gosh.
when I coached basketball. I coached girls basketball, but I used to always play pickup basketball with the boys after school. And I'm like, who taught y'all to do this? They would shoot a 3-pointer. Ain't nobody around them playing defense and fall down. Like, have you seen the kids when they do that? It's because the NBA players do it and they think it's cool. And I'm like, bruh, you can't hit the broad side of the backboard. Get up off this floor because ain't nobody hit you and get back and play defense. And they think it looks so cool. And I'm like, why are y'all falling on this floor? Like, why? Get up and go play. I hated when we had to play on their team because I'm like, bruh, ain't nobody hit you. Get up off this floor. Like the
think they're
things
good.
that they think look cool. I'm like, you didn't even hit the rim, bruh. Dad hit, somebody fouled me. It wasn't nobody within 10 feet of you. Is it a ghost in here?
Mr. Cybold though was he shoved me to the floor for some reason. I've never seen
my
it.
gosh.
It was so weird. He flew all the way to Mississippi to do that.
Oh my gosh. My thing is like when they think they know how to whisper.
Oh, they don't.
Oh my God,
But
they
they're
never
in
do.
the back. I'm like, bruh, can y'all stop talking? That wasn't me.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. I saw you. See you. That was you. That wasn't me.
That's the thing that bugs me is the gaslighting.
Like when you see them do something and
I'll
they're
watch
like,
a kid bop a kid in the head. That wasn't me. I didn't do it.
That wasn't me. Okay, well, hey, listen, there's a faculty basketball game.
Oh my gosh.
We'll go see what was you.
You know what really annoys me more than anything is when the kids think they're doing like a funny prank either for TikTok or for like senior pranks,
Oh
and
my
it
gosh.
actually is like destructive or
Yeah.
like causes so much havoc. Like I saw this one TikTok of these kids that pulled desks and chairs and everything from a teacher's classroom and just put it out in the courtyard, and all I could think was like, I know she spent hours
I ain't putting that
setting
stuff
up
back.
that room.
Y'all
That's
better
not
come get
funny.
this. Y'all better come get this stuff because I ain't going out there. I'm not finna sweat in this Delta heat
No.
and pass out.
No.
Because y'all, the insurance is good, but y'all ain't got no workers' comp. I'm not going out there to put this stuff back.
Or when they like break the sinks or when they
Oh,
break
the
the
devious
toilets.
licks
Yes.
trend.
Dude, that was freaking
That was
crazy.
bad.
They thought they were so funny. It's like, do you even realize like that is vandalism?
The
That's
amount of
not
time,
funny.
yeah, the amount of times that we had to put up, like at my school, they ended up putting up like the dollar amount of how much stuff costs because they were like, before you walked into each bathroom, I'm like, hey, big dog, they don't read during class. They sure as hell ain't reading that when they get ready to walk into the
absolutely not.
bathroom.
Schools in my area were actually like gating off bathrooms
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff, and like had teachers like on like bathroom duty because they had to sit out in the
they
hall
was tearing up,
and then
like-
go in and check the bathroom when the kids left.
And
like,
they would break the stuff that actually mattered. You know, like you try to drop hints. You'd be like, hey, listen, don't be breaking stuff, especially down at the testing room. Do not break in there
Right.
and break
Can you break
everything in the
something?
testing room.
Like,
It
one
would
time
really be devastating.
don't break my chair either. I've been
Yeah.
trying to get a new chair for 2 years.
If one of them kids would have broke my chair in my school, I just would have been chairless because they not gonna replace it. She teach at one of them bougie schools.
I
where
know.
they'll
No, I
replace,
don't.
They'll replace her chair.
Don't
This
put the
was-
wrong idea in people's minds. I do
She got a
not teach in a
chair.
boozy. No, I do not.
Lauren is about that life, so I ain't worried about it. She about that life. This was the craziest one for them, the devious licks though. When they took the toilet, how y'all get it out the bathroom? It was during school. Where y'all take?
That is
how y'all
crazy.
get the
They
toilet
had, they
out?
had someone on the inside.
Like if they.
That's how you know they don't staff schools enough because
But
no
here's
one
my
saw them
thing.
get the toilet.
But here's my thing: if you got them kind of skills to remove a toilet and it's gone, like you put your skills to better use. Is all I'm saying. Like
Right.
that took the team effort on
tattoo
y'all's
artist.
part to remove the
But then
toilet.
the other thing is that it's like, okay, well, yeah, you took the sink, you took the paper towels, you took the soap. How you gonna wash your hands?
Now that was
How you gonna go to the
in the
bathroom?
middle of a freaking pandemic. The schools would not put soap back in the bathroom because the kids were breaking the daggum soap
And then they were like,
dispensers.
well, we can't wash your hands. Well, that's your fault.
Yeah, and
You
I'm
took
like,
the dang
they
soap
gave me a bottle of hand
dispenser.
They gave me a bottle of hand sanitizer that was this size for the whole school year, and I ain't got no more because y'all come up there and get the hand sanitizer to clean y'all shoes. I'm not finna. That also
that work?
drives me crazy. That also drives me freaking crazy. I'm like, what are you doing with the hand sanitizer? I got some on my shoe. I'm like, why are you using my hand
Yeah, my
sanitizer to
kids
clean
don't
your
do that.
shoes?
They be coming
Like,
in my
have you
room
ever seen your
with
kids do
caked
that?
mud
No.
on their shoes.
They will freaking take the hand sanitizer to clean they Air Force Ones.
Really?
This the thing that drive me crazy too. Y'all ever seen? I seen a kid walking one time, and he was walking. I was like, "Did you hurt yourself?" And he was like, "I was like he was walking like he was hurt." And I was like, "Did you get hurt at like pee or something?" He was like, "Nah, I ain't trying to crease my shoes."
Oh my God.
What's the purpose of
Oh
wearing shoes
my
if you ain't trying to crease? I
gosh.
want to step on your shoe on purpose.
I respect. I got mad respect for that
Look
kid.
at Devin over there like
I
I
got
let
mad
him
respect for
I
that
let
kid.
him walk like that. But I'm like, why
I'll
would
carry
you?
him. Be like, oh, you can't crease those. Why are you walking like that? What's
the
going on
Holy
here?
Grail. I'm like, why wear shoes that you can't? I'm
Makes
like,
sense.
you know
to
what else
me.
like drove me crazy was when they came back from PE or when they came from another teacher's class who didn't have no classroom management and they thought they was gonna come to your classroom off the chain. I always had kids that came from PE. They was funky or somebody was ready to fight. Somebody was crying because somebody ain't passing them the ball. Like one time a kid came in and I was like, hey, yo, what's wrong with him? Another kid from the back of the room was like, oh, he's just mad because he got mossed on at PE. I'm like, what kind of words do y'all come up with? Like
What?
they just make up. I was like, what does mossed on mean?
Mossed on?
Yeah, he was like, nah, he just mad because he got mossed on. Now, because I grew up playing basketball, I know that mean he got crossed over. But still, at some point, I'm like, where did that word even come from?
And today's word of the day, kids, is
Moss.
words of the day. Mossed on.
You know, we hit him with the mac and cheese brickleberry. You know what I mean? No, I don't know what you mean. Actually, I'm hungry now.
And then all the like slang terms they started coming up with, just like random stuff like, man, Miss Richardson, he dog water. What What is dog? What does that mean? That means he
Dog
sucked, Miss Richardson.
water.
Like, you're not good at basketball. Okay, well, you can't just say like I'm not like if a
Yeah,
dog.
but you
drinks,
got to look back at when we were growing up, and it was
That's
boo
true.
and shoddy,
It's-
and it was,
Hey,
what you
don't
doing, shoddy?
Don't be aging us.
You my boo?
Don't be aging us. Don't be aging us. Remember, we
I
used to
can't
say
remember
junk.
words we used to use.
We used to say junk all the time. Man,
That's
that junk
boo-boo.
was fire.
That's boo boo.
Nah.
We just
They get.
no,
You know what word
Maybe
I
I
could
was just
never.
super lame. Like,
or in a very white area.
Oh my God, damn it.
no, but I went to like a pretty diverse school. Like it wasn't.
yeah.
It wasn't like I didn't go to like an all white school. Like, but I mean, not that would matter.
I feel like urban schools more slang is used. Like there's just
Oh,
just
no,
don't
it's
know
like a
half
part
these
of
words.
It's a part of lingo. Like it took me like the whole school year to figure out what a simp was. I still kind of really feel like I don't understand what it was. Like, Damon Rich said, he a simp, man. He a simp. What is a simp? And then they be using words that they can't even explain the meaning of it. Apparently, a simp is a guy that like a girl and do a bunch of stuff for her, but she don't like him.
Yeah, they'll do it for like the attention, and
Yeah, but
they just
then-
want the affection.
But then they was like, a dude is a simp that's dating a girl and she do like him and he do everything for her. I'm like,
It's
bro,
got
which
multiple
one?
meanings.
I'm like, which one
Yeah,
is
no,
it?
he's a
Wait, but
simp,
then
but
aren't
he's
they
not a
just
simp.
like no? But that okay in our day that was you're talking. We're
Or
talking.
you was sprung. Remember sprung?
Sprung.
You was
I
sprung.
remember- okay, I remember that.
Look,
I remember
even the
that.
cameraman looked up. Like, oh man, he sprung. Yeah, the kids that listen to our podcast are like, what the heck
Yeah.
kind of words are they using?
Those
It was
old
just
people.
growing up.
But they come
But then we
up.
make fun of their lingo, but
Right,
we had
and we-
it. Like we had
did.
it.
I'm like,
We did.
shame.
No, I'm
Shame.
still gonna go with I was just really lame. Like
You were not. You were
I was
not.
not a cool.
You were
kid.
not. Listen,
I was lame.
this how I know, because I bet you were one of those kids in school that like we would like if you got like a 95 on the test, I'm like, okay, I probably made like a 67 if she made a 95. And then if you failed the test, I'm like, well, she failed, I made a 2. Because I know dang well, like we all had those kids, like we would gauge like what grade we probably made based off of what grade they made. And I feel like that you were that kid that
See, but
everybody gauged.
I did well in school, but like I was friends with
you
the group of
worked hard,
kids.
too.
Well,
You worked-
I had to work my butt off.
You
I
worked
wasn't.
really hard.
That's why I was friends with the group of kids that didn't have to work hard and they just got straight A's all the time and literally just like blinked and got an A. And I had to work my butt off, so I always felt like the dumb friend, even though I wasn't.
Right.
Like no, like I'm not trying to say it, like for sympathy or anything. It was
No,
just like that
yeah.
was just like my internal thought. I'm like maybe I'm stupid.
I
And,
just
like,
cheated.
but like
I
my
just
friends were
cheated.
the smart kids that were like the goody two shoes kids. I was lame.
I just
I
cheated.
don't think
Really?
that's lame.
No, like I didn't do anything. I have zero fun experiences from school because I was so
Yeah, but
afraid of getting in trouble.
Now those kids are on TikTok like, hey, can you respond to this? My friends don't know that I know you.
It's like the greatest accomplishment of my life to like be the cool one from my high school now. I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's so
like,
fun.
I was like, I never thought this for my life. That this
Right.
would be what I do for a job.
Right.
And so like for me, like I had my high school reunion, like
I
my
was
10
just
year.
about to say, follow up in that high school reunion.
Yeah,
like,
I did. Well, it was dumb. Anyway, but like
Oh,
So-
bless.
I was like, I want to go just to flex on these people. Like, but
Good
like
call. Good call.
hardly no one shut up.
I didn't go to.
They were too afraid. They're like, I can't go. Lauren
I didn't
Woolley's gonna
go.
be there.
I didn't
But-
go to my 10-year high school reunion because I was like, I'm just not. It felt weird. Like I was like, I don't know you people. I haven't seen. I ain't spoke to not
Nah,
one
same.
of y'all. And but here's the thing that we teachers we are such hypocrites on because we get mad at our kids for talking while we teaching and what we be doing in professional development.
Talking.
whole time.
Texting,
You texting your best
online
friend.
shopping,
Online. Straight up,
Amazon Prime.
straight up online shopping. Like we get mad at our kids because they be back there whispering while we're standing up teaching. Excuse me, be quiet. And then professional development, the kids don't know how to whisper, and neither do we. I get nervous because I'm a rule follower. So if I sit next to somebody and they talking too loud, it stresses me out, and I
Me
want to turn around and
too.
be like, "Hey, bro, y'all ain't even whispering. Like, because I feel like the principal is going to look over and I'm guilty by association. So I'm like, and I want to be like, that wasn't even me talking, this them. I'm just sitting over here. They the ones that's talking. I turn into a kid then. Because I'm like, because you can't turn around to them and be like, can y'all shut up, please? Because I don't want no smoke. Okay. But I hate sitting around people that don't know how to whisper during professional development or they won't be quiet.
But the thing is also we all instinctually tell our students sit towards the front of the class, but then we sit so far. I've walked into the professional development. I'm the first one there, and it's a huge auditorium. I'll sit down in the back row. They'll be like, "Can you sign in up front?" And I'll walk all the way up front and turn around and walk all the way to the back.
My principal will literally make us sit in the front. Like, yeah, like we'll all spread out. She'll be like, no, everyone right here, these 5 tables.
They know.
How many teachers do y'all have at y'all school though?
Not a lot. Like for the elementary wing, I'd say like 20 max.
Okay, because we had like 100 teachers.
And that's including like, you know, people who work with title and like like when I say I am a small district, like small, we're like a little tiny speck in Ohio. Like it's so tiny.
Nah, we got like 100 teachers at our school, and I'm talking about I used to slide up in the back of them meetings after like 10 minutes because I'm like, they ain't gonna see me anyway. And it used to piss me off because none of the coaches used to ever come to them meetings, and they never noticed when the coaches wasn't in there. And you know the coaches dancing around like they hate us because they ain't us. It used to make me so mad. I'm like, where are the coaches?
Sorry, I had to put away this tennis ball. 8 hours late. Hey.
Bro, that racquetball skit or that tennis ball skit killed me when we did on the comedy
that's
tour.
Something that bothers me. Like we all know I'm a type A, very organized. I can't stand when something's out of place. And my kids will literally go and get something. Like they're allowed to use whatever supplies they want in my classroom. They'll get something and then they'll put it in the complete wrong area. Like I'll have a jar of highlighters and next to like a box of pens or something.
And they'll take
the highlighter and put it with the pens. Like what is wrong with you? It's
right
there.
When they walk up to the trash can right there, throw the trash on the side of the trash can. Hey man, it's right there on the side of the trash can. Or when they go up there trying to Kyrie Irving the trash can, your jump shot is trash. Put that paper in the trash can and go back to your seat.
You know, in my room I have a sink. And so, like, they'll ask me, like, the sink has a water fountain attached to it. They'll ask me to fill up their water bottles in the hallway. I'm like, no, we got running water right here.
Right.
Or they'll go wash their hands and, like, literally cup the water and just, like, splash it all over the counter.
Oh
like,
my
I'm like,
God.
how?
Why?
What was the
Did you learn how to
reason?
wash your hands like that?
It's like kids just make it. Like, have you ever seen the dads on TikTok that do those videos imitating their kids?
Yeah.
Or they go to their kids. It's the parents and they go to their grown adult kids' houses and tear up their house like them kids did to them when they were kids. Like they'll take the toothpaste and just squeeze it all over the counter and then put like a little squirt on the toothbrush and they'll just pull random towels and random pillows off and kick their shoes off in like random spots. Because kids, that's another thing I hate. How many book bags have y'all tripped over in your class? Oh my gosh. Like
ours have like the lockers outside, so luckily none.
Our kids, man, I have tripped over so many book bags. I'm surprised I did not like hurt myself.
Ours are freaking instruments. Like our 5th graders all have to take band.
Oh gosh.
So like they have band Monday through Thursday, and then on Friday they have a different special. So Monday through Thursday, my room is jam packed with because they have nowhere to
like
put these
every
dang
kid?
instruments. Every kid has an instrument.
Every kid has to take band?
I have a small district. We don't have enough people
That's
for
true.
choir and band and music.
Because they either do band or PE.
Yeah, they do band Monday through Thursday, and then Friday they do PE, and then halfway through the year they switch and do art on Fridays.
Yeah.
But like literally, I'll have like a whole freaking tuba sitting in the middle of my classroom, and it'll start by their desk, and by midway through the day, it's like 10 feet away. I'm like, how did it go over there?
And they're migrated.
I know it didn't grow legs and walk. Like, keep it by your desk.
One last thing that I cannot stand, it is my biggest pet peeve that these kids do, is when they just lie to their parents about either something that I said or did in class, or like where their assignment is, or if they did their homework or not.
They still be lying on us, man.
Lie, and then we get in trouble, and it's like, why Why? Why did you have to do that?
Like, y'all don't even call a check first to even see if the story made sense.
Mrs.
Nope.
Woolley said that I am stupid and should drop out of school.
Like,
No, I did not say that.
Your kid
I
said
didn't even remotely say that.
Your kid,
That was Mr.
I didn't say
Cybold.
that, actually.
that was Mr. Cybold. He said that. Like, your kid told you I poked him in the eye with a fork. Ma'am, when he came home, did he have both his eyeballs? Then I didn't poke him in the eye with a fork. Like, you see, before you see your child, when he got to school, did he have 2 eyeballs? Okay, when he left school, he still got 2 eyeballs. I did not poke him in the eye with a fork. Like,
The worst is when they're like, you're grading my child differently. My kid never fails. And then you pull up the whole report card and you see every class is an F.
Okay.
And they're
Oh,
coming
my
after
gosh.
you and not seeing that there may be a different problem here.
okay.
Yes.
See, that's not easy to do in elementary school because you teach every subject.
Right. So
Yeah.
then you just do hate it.
It's just me.
You do hate that child. You did it.
I could never. I'm trying to get in one of these student versus teacher basketball games, though. Because
Can I do that? Listen, the best thing we did all year, we had our field day at the end of the year. And this class I had this year was a little rough. They tested my patience.
Man.
And our PE teacher got water balloons set up. And they were playing like dodgeball, where they were just like running around outside with actual dodgeballs. And then at the end, we got to like peg them with water balloons and like dump water all over them.
Kids,
And I was like, this is my revenge. This is where I make my way back to glory. Like, I'll just like chuck water balloons at their heads and try and they run. And then they grabbed the bucket and threw it at me. I was like, you aren't supposed to be able to touch the bucket.
At that point, it's fair game because, I mean, when it goes down at field day, it stays at field day.
If
But
I can hit him with a water balloon, we're having a field week.
we outside.
No, we did. The last couple days of school, I actually took them outside and we played dodgeball again. It was really nice.
It's
Getting
nice
to
at the end of school when
being
you're
the kids
able
with
to
dodgeball.
do, like, calmer things like that. But we want y'all to know we do like kids. I know this whole episode. I feel the need. Y'all know best friend always got to preface. I feel the need to say, okay, we do like some of y'all kids.
It's just
but not
fun
all
to
of
rag
them.
on them sometimes.
But it is fun to rag on them. So if you in our comments and you salty and you're like, oh my God, why y'all teachers? Because y'all don't even like kids. Okay, we don't care. Put on a cape. If you're going to be mad, put on a cape so you can be super mad. And on that note, we'll see y'all next time. Bye best friends.